1 Corinthians 13, 4-8.
It takes two to say I do. It takes tested love.
You ain't quit yet. You know, you still going, Mom, you still love him. You know, he still loves you. So I just kind of want to express that and thank you guys and congratulate you on 15 years of marriage.
They stand before us as an example of the blessedness of matrimony, which St. Paul commended as honorable among all men, and therefore not by any to be entered into unadvisedly or lightly, but reverently, discreetly, and in the fear of God. Who gave this woman away 15 years ago and continues to allow her to be given to this woman, to this man? God bless you. Clap your hands for the bishop. You guys can step up here. All right, at this time, this is an opportunity for us all to participate. One thing about Shannon and Stacey, they're always looking for an opportunity to include others in the blessings that they have been afforded. And so at this time, we've come to the part of the ceremony where we can all participate with them as it relates to the love that they have one for another. And they chose to express their own vows. And so we want to give way for that at this time. So we'll receive Shannon first, and then Stacey.
So I have this to keep me focused. Today is such a special day. We're celebrating 15 years of marriage, and I can't believe it's been 15 years, but it has. There's so many things I want to express, and so many things I want to say, and I'm trying to just put it all into just a few moments, but I want to start by saying that I have never felt and loved you the way that I do here today. And it's such an awesome feeling just to love you the way that I do, and I'm so grateful to God that He just allowed us to find one another, to love one another, forgive one another, uplift one another, and be accountable to one another. When we first got married, we thought we had it all figured out, because we just thought if we love each other, everything's going to be good. But we didn't know that there would be many challenges, and found out that marriage is a full-time job. You don't get to call in sick. You don't get to take vacation days. You don't get to have do your work. But you have to continually work on it. And there are also times with full-time jobs that you also have evaluation and promotion. And we are in a season of promotion. Yeah. Promotion comes through perseverance in the tough times and never giving up. And the significance of number 15 is rest, which comes after the significance of the number 14, which is deliverance. God delivered us through some difficult times. He delivered us through different things. And now it's our turn to rest in Him. sometimes we want to give up and not persevere and take shortcuts. And the problem with taking shortcuts is that if we arrive prematurely, we're unprepared. There's a time and there's a place for everything. The Bible says, "For I know the plans that I have for you." And so now we're no longer worried about the little molehills, but we're binding together and we're concentrated on moving mountains together. And I just want to say that because of everything that God has allowed us to experience, I am so grateful that we have gone through what we've gone through, because it allowed me to have a relationship with God that I've never, ever had before. It allowed me to have an unmovable faith in God, that regardless of what happens, anything is possible. I trust him so much more because I've seen him move in our life. And the biggest and the best thing about this, the biggest treat of all of this, is something that I prayed for so many years, is for us to be able to work together in ministry. Yeah. And when that happened, it just hit me all of a sudden, like, you prayed for this. And we were actually in a leaders meeting when it happened, and I thought about the fact that I prayed for this, and we're working together in ministry. And that is so important to me, and I've seen you grow leaps and bounds. I'm watching God do stuff. I've watched when we had marriage ministry, and you were, sharing with the men and pouring into the men and different things. And I was like, this is the prophecy that even Aunt Judy spoke about years ago that we didn't even know was going to come forth. We knew it would come forth, we just didn't know when. And so I'm sitting here watching prophecy just unfold in front of me. And so one of the messages I actually want to tell everybody out here, that regardless of if you're married, if you're single and you're looking, and when you just trust God, because he already has a plan for you. He has a plan that includes you, and all you have to do is trust him. Because all I can tell you is that the God I serve, he has shown up and he has shown out. Amen. And I will tell everybody that all you need to do is trust him. And don't give up. Trust God. And honey, I just want you to know that I love you so much. I admire the stand that you've taken. I admire just the man that you've become, the man of God that you've become. I thank you, Pastor, for being part of that. But I just appreciate who you are. And if I had it to do all over again like I'm doing right now, I'll do it again. I love you so much. Oh.
Wrestled for the last few weeks, trying to put pen to paper. But I couldn't do it. And for this moment, it was speaking from the heart. But no matter how I tried to type it, write it, so 17 years ago, when I met you, I was glad Bishop was in Africa. Because I said he let the sheep out, but he wasn't there protecting him, and I got him. So I thank you for being in Africa when I came to Atlanta. And your brother was at work, so you was in the pastor, so I got you. When I saw you as a man, you always bring the one you think is the one home for approval. So when your mom and grandmothers say that's the one, you know for sure you got it. My grandma was blind in one eye, I couldn't see out the other. But she said that's a good one right there. The love I have for you when I first laid eyes on you was a love that I never felt before. It was unexplainable. And I told you many times when I came into the Dawson family, I had 2 suits. So I got upgraded. I dressed better. I ate better. And Bishop told me not to bring my truck around anymore, so I drove a little better now. So I've been driving my truck to his house to see his daughter, so I think I upgraded a little better than you did. So the love I had for you then is a whole 10 times more and better. Thanks to you, I am a better person. The love you show me unconditionally. Wow, it come into a movement. It wasn't because Peter couldn't walk on water, because he did. He walked towards him. It's when he got distracted by all the other things that came around. The wind, the thunder, the lightning, and all that stuff. So yes, I took my eyes off God. I let Satan drive. And he said riding wasn't good enough. So I thank God he called time out on me and us to get it right. I thank God for the things we went through. If he'd have showed it from the get-go, we wouldn't have been here standing today. So like Charlie Wilson said, we in it to win. We have won. But we have stood the test of time. We have been in there with 3 Hebrew boys. We done stood in the fire. We are there. Anything else now is cream on. And baby, I thank you for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself. When I fought against you, you kept pulling. I didn't want to hear you. You got in front of me. I wanted to pick you up and move you to the side. You stood right in front of me until I got it right. So I apologize to you for whatever I have done. And like the Bible said, the latter should be greater than the former. It's a good book. I started reading it a while back. It's the #1 seller for long as I know. That's what I heard. So I thank you for everything you did me through the thick, and being the greatest mother I can see for my daughter, and we don't do the step for my children. So that's why I bust myself where I do to make sure everything is taken care of in our house. I told the dad when from I said, I don't have the house to pick a fence around, but I think I've done all right this year. Okay. So put God first in whatever we do, and we can't go wrong. And I pray every night, mine is every night, that God, you do nothing else for me. Oh, you done done enough. Amen. And we won't murmur about anything. We will continue to pray day in and day out. But I thank God for it. And it says, he finds a wife, finds a good thing. I think they meant to put great things. So when we step out, we step out. It's not to show out, but just who we are. And we're not going to change for anybody. I want to thank our friends coming down from Illinois to share this with us. My brother-in-law, I apologize for anything that I didn't do for you. Probably through our friends and family that I should have done when I was with you. So forgive me for not being who I should have been with you. And my sister, I thank you for always smiling. That's my daughter-in-law also. So, but I thank you for not turning a blind eye or treating me any kind of way when you saw in me what should have been seen, but I didn't do it. So now I am walking with my wife. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you for believing in me, Pastor. Who comes to church in 7 months and say, you in charge of all of this? Like, what? So thank you for seeing in me what I didn't see. And we will continue to stand with Life Church. And this is where we thank you for everything you've done for us. And babe, I love you for everything I do. If I can go fight for this country, put on all that armor they gave me, the devil get ready, because I can put on the armor and we gonna fight it off. I will continue to love you, and I will put you second. Right behind God. But I will honor you in the way you should be honored. I will treat you the way you should be. I love you so much.
My Lord, we can take an offering. I ain't preached today. One of the things that I know that I can say that I have learned in just this short period of time is that everything that I've heard today, I know that it's genuine. It's directly from the heart. You're not just saying it. You're doing such an awesome job, guys. You guys as well.
My wife and I will talk about it all the time that our goal is to give all of ourselves to each other. So that any one day that I may be at 75%, she may be at 100%, she covers my other 25 and she has enough. Never find yourself as you continue to grow in God's love that you only give half of yourself to your spouse. But we have learned every single day that God has blessed us to live, that I live 100% totally for her, and that she lives 100% totally for me. 1 Chronicles chapter 4, verse number 9 talks about Jabez. And you guys know the story. You guys are preachers. The Bible says that Jabez was more honorable than his brothers. He already had grace on his life. He already had favor, if you will, on his life. The Bible says, but his mother had named him Jabez, saying that I gave birth to him in pain. And Jabez cried out to the God of Israel, oh, that you would bless me and enlarge my territory. Let your hand be with me and keep me from harm so that I will be free from pain. One of the things that stuck out to me in this particular passage is that although he already had the grace and the favor on his life, he still believed in God to do more. You guys have so much favor on your lives. I'm going to tell you right now, the grace of God, it exudes from you when you walk in a room. The favor of God is on you. You are God's favor. Yes, you have. But in everything that you have, continue to press God to enlarge your territory. Continue to ask God to bless you, because as you know, we are blessed to be a blessing. But it was the last part of that scripture that stuck out to me, and for years and years and years, it really blessed me, that he asked God to deliver him from pain. And when he asked God to deliver him from pain, if we would note back a scripture of it, it was the same pain that encouraged or that influenced his mother to name him. In other words, his name represented pain. So when he said, God, deliver me, after you do all these wonderful things for me, I want you to deliver me from this pain. In essence, he was saying, I want you to deliver me from myself. And my prayer is that as you guys continue to grow in God, that you continue to be selfless. That you ask God, remove Stacey out the way, remove Shannon out the way, so that I can be everything that I can be for him, and I can be everything that I can be for her. Because if God is going to enlarge and continue to bless the calling and the anointing that's already on your life, we have to put each other first. In Jesus' name. You're already blessed. And he's already enlarging the territory. Continue to let him do what he's already been doing. Amen? Come on, let's clap our hands. At this time, we want to invite the bishop to come up to pronounce blessings over the couple. From that time, we will hear from our bridegroom, and we will be dismissed.
Thank you, Pastor. God bless you. Thank you for being the guide of my children, watching over them, and they just compliment you and talk about you all the time. So that they say that I know that some good things are going on. My children have been under some of the greatest ministers, pastors in this country. They grew up in it. So when she says that about you, it carries a great deal of weight with me. This little one here is just like her mother. She looks like her, same size. She looks so much like her, I'm telling you. She's got those dimples like her mother. That's what caught my eye. And her mother has put that, I think, on all of them. We're blessed with that. But this is what is known as a daddy's baby. Everybody know her to be daddy's baby. I'm telling you. I had to be in San Francisco one time and was there for a whole week. And I got back home. She was just a baby then. I don't think she was even talking good. But she was sitting on the bed when I walked in the door. And it just, my heart just dropped because she looked like she was just sick. And I asked her mother what was wrong with her. She said, she hasn't ate since you've been gone. She wouldn't eat after you left and she realized you were not here. She wouldn't eat. She would always cling to her dad. You were watching TV or whatever. She would just wrap her arms around me and cling. This has always been a dad's baby. That concerned me because I knew the man that she had to marry had to be someone that would nurture her, that would love her, and that would be there for her. But at the same time, she had to know how to have that man. Pastors and preachers sometimes have a very hard, difficult life. And our children pay great prices while we are trying to save the world. And so it was always my thing then to make sure that my children had the best after the prices they paid. Because we didn't have an ordinary ministry. We had to go places where a lot of folk wouldn't go, do things folk wouldn't do. And what was known as ministry was never my playbook. It was always about reaching the lost at any cost. I was not concerned about what every other minister, pastor, bishop did, but what God sent me and her mother to do. Her mother and I met when we were 12 and 13 years old. We were married for 30 years. 4 children came out of that union. We now have 9 grandchildren, 4 great-grands. And that is a tremendous blessing to have that. And all of my children are saved. All of my grandchildren are saved. That to me is the greatest blessing that a man can have. Stacey walked into all of this and he discerned those things. He picked up those things. He counted it as a blessing to be in that family and to walk in it. He's walked as a son. He has shown me nothing but respect. If I talk to him, he listens. If I call him, if I don't get him, he immediately calls me back. He has never disrespected me in one day. There are a lot of fathers that can't say that. One of the things we as fathers are always concerned ourselves with, who is going to marry my daughter? And these days, you got to wonder what is going to marry my daughter. But I'm so happy to be able to see her smile like that, to see him smile, to see them comfortable with each other. And I just asked her back there, baby, are you happy? She said, yeah, Dad, I am so happy. And I could see the glow on her face. Because I remember days she cried. I remember days that they didn't feel good. I remember those times, but I knew those times were gonna come. See, some people are in love with being in love. They're in love with what they feel initially. But they do not understand sometimes that after a wedding is coming a marriage. And you got to deal with all of those things. It will try everything you told the pastor in your pre-marital counseling. It will try it on to see if it makes it. At 15 years, the good thing about this, you have some idea of what you're going to be facing. You got some idea of who has to carry you through it. You have some idea of the real structure and substance of your love. 15 is the number, biblically speaking, of continuation, restoration. It is the number of brighter and going higher. It was 15 steps into Solomon's temple. And Solomon was taking the temple on from his father, David. So it was a continuation. If David was what was called the beginning, If David was called that and handing it to Solomon, David had the chance to walk. Solomon had the responsibility of walking in the footsteps of David. Each one of those steps leading up to the temple, leading up to the holies, leading up to what God had given was very important. You all are at 15. My prayer is there are going to be many other 15. You embrace the difficulties. You embrace what was his life. He has embraced what was your life. And none of us come into it perfect, but it is the ability to embrace and love each other as you go. Because it moves on from that emotional place to the place of what you know and to the place of what you understand. And I know that you are the one for me. I know that you are the one for me. And that I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Be it ups, downs, whatever I have to go through, the continuation and the connection, the restoration to the rest of our lives has to be in Christ. I feel very comfortable with who is my son-in-law. I feel very good about who is my son-in-law. So when I get ready to pray, I'm standing not just as your father-in-law, but what God himself puts in the office of a bishop, and asks him to transfer those blessings that he intended into this union, not just because it belongs to me, but what he has biblically stated. I told Shannon, what we have to come to understand, standing by that man's side, standing with him. God, when he snatched woman out of a man, he went to the very depths of that man's soul. He wasn't even awake when God brought her up out of him, because he went to his subconscious state. He went to a state that man can't even recognize in himself. That's her. Most people like to talk about what Eve did to Adam, but he went to that place. When a man has lost everything he's got, when he's ready to quit and to give up, the last thing he got is hope. That's the last thing that is there, is hope. That's the place where God pulled woman from. So he has commissioned her and given her the power and the authority and the ability to speak life into you when you don't even want to go on any longer. When you want to quit, she has a way, a connection with God, to speak life into that husband and make him want to live. So when you talk about the things that happen that revive, it doesn't surprise me. We all had them. If we start counting mistakes, mine don't leave no room at the altar for nobody else. So I would not be pointing a finger. But I can say here today with clarity, with honesty, with joy, I am glad that you are my son-in-law. And I thank God for you, and I thank God that you found my daughter and she found you. And I feel comfortable with the two of you journeying through life the rest of the way together. Because that is a very important thing, to be able to embrace each other at 15, going forward, knowing that it is the connection, it is the restoration, and each one of those steps lead to a higher place. What does God have for that? What is God's intent for Stacey and Shannon Galloway? I'll be honest now, Stacey. It took a great deal to hand over the most precious thing I had, my daughter. I love my boys, God knows I do. They are great preachers. But don't mess with my girls. My daughters live. And for me to feel good and comfortable about her in your arms and in your care, I feel good about that. I feel good about my granddaughters in your care. And I know you're going to do the best for your family. In order to get to your family, they got to kill you. And I know that. And I know that you're going to stand there. And I pray that you stand with this man of God and with this ministry and with this church and with this blessing and offer everything that God pours on you. You can help train other young men. You've been in war. You've been to Iraq. You know what it is to be shot at. You know what it is to have your life threatened. You know what it is to live with that fear and to overcome it. You know what it is to be able to transfer fatherhood to a lot of young black men who have never had fathers. This is going to be their second chance. This is it. Somebody told me one time, said, Bishop, you talk like you bad when you preach it from the pulpit. I said, that's not it. There are a lot of single women out there listening to me, trying to raise young black men and that have never had a father speak to them, struggling to find out who they are, how to be a man and not a girl, and how to stand up. And some of them, I am the only voice, strong black man that they're going to hear. I have to speak like that. I speak this to you today, that you speak to these young black men that are going to come in this church, that you help to raise them, that you put your arms around the pastor and embrace them, and that God make this place a lighthouse in the city, and that you will illuminate everywhere you go. It is no accident that Stacey Galloway is Harold Dawson's son-in-law and that he's married to Shannon Dawson. That is no accident. God don't play with us. When my wife went home to be with the Lord, I knew that it was no accident. It couldn't slip up on us. It couldn't, because we know how God guided this family. So to me, I believe that God ordained it. And now, get ready to cause those blessings to fall upon you. It doesn't mean things won't happen. It don't mean that you will not have those bad days. It doesn't mean that. But it means that God is going to bring you through it. You know, one of the reasons I understand 15, because I did a study today. One of the reasons I understand it, because God sent the wife I have now when she was 15 years old. He said, the thing that happened to you, I knew it was going to happen and had planned for it all along. So 15 is a connection. It's a restoration. It is a step up. It is going to the next place. His blessings rest upon you. Join hands. All right, I'll take y'all hand. Oh, thank God. Pastor, I'm going to ask you, if you will, with me, put your hands on like each one of their shoulders, because I'm also commissioning them to you to teach them, and that upon this day, as God imparts his blessings, that he will help you guide them and to lead them through dark places, through places the enemy chooses to deceive them, that God will help you guide them. Father, I stand in this office that you have given, the office of the bishopric, the office of the prophetic, the office of guiding light. And I pray, oh Lord, for my daughter and my son here that stand before you, that heaven is called to record this day on the things that are being proclaimed, that covenant blessings, inheritance, and purpose rest upon them, that they move now to the place of what your purpose is for their life, to use them, to ordain them, to put that power and anointing upon them that breaks yokes and destroys barriers. That this is a unit between this couple and their pastor that is going to help them bring light to this community. And wherever the soles of their feet shall tread together, that they shall bring deliverance. That out from their breasts would pour life, that would pour liberty, that would pour deliverance and freedom to so many that are lost. Let no marriage come through the doors of this church that will be broken, but that they would be alike. The children that are in this church that will flow from the union of this ministry, let them be blessed. I pray that they be kept from hurt, harm, and danger. Keep them from the disease of this age, the disease of this season, the disease of this political and economic climate. I pray that you anoint them and that you go with them. And everywhere the sole of their feet shall tread in your name, let there be victory. Lord, I release my daughter into this man's arms to be kept, to be nurtured, to be blessed. and that you keep him, that he will be able to be guided by the light of God from on high. And I thank you, and Lord, I praise you. In Jesus' name. My spoiled baby. Don't she look spoiled? This is my spoiled brat. She's always been a daddy, but my daddy loved me so much, baby. Pastor, God bless you. Amen. God bless you.
Come on, let's thank God for the bishop. That's how I have words for him. Amen. I just have words.